In the ever-growing list of mind-boggling changes that Star Citizen has been making, they have recently decided to change the ASTCAV sniper rifle to be able to one-shot people in the head when they're wearing heavy armor. For those of you unfamiliar, there was a decision to remove one-shot kills maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. This was controversial because most people who play these types of games are completely incapable of imagining a world where in a game you just don't instantly die. It's crazy, I know, I don't simply understand why, but that's how people are. This decision was made because in a game like Star Citizen that's going to be focusing on scale and having lots of players in one battle, and in a game where you can potentially spend a lot of time doing something mundane, the idea of a one-shot kill with no recourse or counterplay just ends up seeming like a really bad design idea. And it seems like a bad design idea because it is a bad design idea. Whenever you have one-shot kills in a game, those are the type of weapons that people will gravitate towards, for better or for worse. Even if players are not capable of landing the one-shot kill, those weapons become so prolific that everybody has to adjust their gameplay style on the account of the one-shot kill being ever present. This means that if you are doing infantry combat, you can never ever aim your weapon and stand still. You have to strafe left and right at all times, move erratically at all times, and it just looks stupid, and it's really not fun to play that way. You're just slamming your keys all the time, strafe left, strafe right all the time, because if you stand still, you get one-shotted, and that's it. It's very bizarre that people who argue for one-shot kills are the same people that are stupid enough to argue for realism in a video game. I've never understood that, but it's really hard to understand people that are stupid to begin with. Because, well, they're stupid after all. But if you're going to argue the point of realism, well, how realistic is it to have a player or a soldier standing in a field and just juking left and right nonstop in place, just left, right, left, right, left, right? Well, it's not realistic at all. And they're doing that because if they don't, they get one-shotted. I've always found it bizarre that, at least subconsciously, developers and players know that snipers and one-shot kills are so overpowered that they do all of these things to try and rein them in instead of just not having them. Scope glint, for example. Scope glint is a result of the one-shot kill. Not because of the sniper rifle or the weapon's range, it's a result of the one-shot kill. The same thing with the massive trail the bullet leaves behind that other games do. They do that because, again, the sniper rifle and the one-shot kill are so powerful that they have to give you all of these warnings and chances to deal with them, instead of just not having them. It blows my mind that people can't see that. How about a game that has a ton of snipers in it, period? Again, let's go back to Battlefield. They have all of those snipers because the only way to stop a sniper is to have a counter sniper. So the counter snipers and snipers are shooting each other, playing their own game, adding nothing to the session. Wouldn't be a problem if you just didn't have snipers or one-shot kills. I really don't see what positive change this adds to Star Citizen's already lackluster infantry combat. Anytime there's something that is going to be done in a game, I think the question should be asked, what is the benefit of this? What positive impact does this add to the game? What is good about this? Is this fun? Is this something that players would enjoy? Well, I can tell you right now that the people doing the one-shot are going to enjoy it, and the people being one-shotted are simply not going to enjoy it. And therein lies the problem. It's very easy to think of ourselves as the winners at all time. We can always envision ourselves doing the one-shot and just having tons of fun. But what about the victim of the one-shot? What could they have done differently? Well, the answer is really nothing. They can't have done anything differently. Not play, not go out there, not take a risk, not go on an adventure, not put yourself in a situation where you could be one-shotted. Well, what's the situation where you can't be one-shotted? Don't leave your ship. Don't participate in infantry combat. Don't stand in the open. Don't ever stand still. This is all of the bad stuff that happens when you put one-shot weapons in a game. And by the way, this applies to shotguns too. I'm against one-shots for shotguns. I'm against one-shots for sniper rifles. I'm against one-shots for torpedoes. Trust me, I'm extreme on this. I don't think they add anything to the game. Why does it have to be one? Why can't it be two? Why can you not give a player a chance to react and fight back? These are just questions, and you should ask yourself these questions. The developers should ask themselves these questions. What does it add to the game? Do you know what happens when one-shot weapons are prolific and they're effective and they're common? You get crap like Battlefield 6 now, okay? Look at Battlefield 6. That famous meme image of all of these scope glint out in the mountains. That is happening because when you're in open combat and you have a weapon that can engage at range and potentially one-shot a target, or in some cases two-shot to the body, that becomes the default weapon. Is that the kind of gameplay that you want Star Citizen to become if there is ever any open field combat? You want it to be just nothing but snipers? Well, if it's nothing but snipers, then the only option is to be in vehicles. So where does that leave everybody else that just wants to be a regular infantryman? It leaves them as fodder for the snipers or fodder for the vehicles. This is the type of cascading failure that bad design creates. And we don't have to say that this is theory. It's not theory. It's fact. Again, look at Battlefield. Look at PlanetSide 2. Look at the amount of irreparable damage that PlanetSide 2 one-shot snipers did to the game. You were either in a vehicle or you were playing heavy assault with an overshield, strafing left and right constantly just to avoid potentially being one-shotted. I would not have the one-shot period. Not for light armor, medium armor, or heavy armor. If they get hit in the head, it's always 2 shots. It leaves them very, very damaged. It leaves them pretty much close to dead, and if they're wounded in some way, then yeah, it'll probably finish them off, absolutely. But to go from full HP down to 0 while you're wearing any sort of armor because somebody decided to bring a sniper rifle out, it's not good. It's not fun. It's not good design. And if this is about making the ASTCAV rifle stand out from other rifles in the game because it's a slow firing like bolt of electricity, there are other ways to do this that I think are far more fun and creative for everybody involved. How about the weapon has a chain lightning effect? If you hit somebody, it chains to the other guy and does damage. That's certainly more interesting than one shot and gives a weapon a niche. Or how about it applies a damage over time? The volt of electricity is surging through the target that was hit and they're burning or something like that. Use your imagination. Think about something like that. It doesn't have to be a one-shot kill. I would argue that having a one-shot kill in a game takes a lot of things into consideration, or rather should take things into consideration. For example, how fast can a player get back into the game? What's the respawn system like? What are the stakes? If you're in a round-based session shooter with an economy like Counter-Strike, yeah, I guess you can have the AWP doing a one-shot, but that's a very specific type of weapon to that very specific type of game. And while we're on the topic of that, the original creators of CS hated the AWP. Right here's the quote on screen for that one. What if it's a game like Call of Duty, where the one-shot kill is common, but everybody dies in the game so fast that it doesn't matter, and you respawn instantaneously, and nothing matters or has any persistence or permanence? Okay, sure, it's annoying and it's lame, but everything in that game is annoying and lame, so it fits right in. How about games like Battlefield? Well, everybody in that game hates the recon class. They hate fighting against them because they can be one-shotted and they're all over the place. And they hate having them on their team because they don't ever push up or do objectives or do anything. They're just selfish and annoying to be around. Everybody with common sense hate them, and they tend to simply attract the lowest common denominator of player. And what about games like Arma Reforger? The combat is large scale. It has a wide ranges of engagement, so you're fighting from all different directions. What happened? People always grab the sniper rifle. If you wanted to get top frags in that game and get the most kills, you were not running around with an M16 or an AK-74. You were running around with an SVD or an M21, period, with optics, because that was the default best option to use when you were outside. So all the other weapons just sucked. People did not use them. It was so bad that they had to change the entire loadout system and supply system and all that just to accommodate sniper rifles. The best option for that game? Simply not include them. And in reality, that is the biggest, most challenging thing that developers never overcome. They do not have the balls to say, why do we need this in the game? Just because every other game has it, do we have to have one-shot weapons? Do we have to have one-shot shotguns and one-shot sniper rifles? Do we need these things just because other games have them? Or are we capable of setting out with our own ideas, challenging what has become the norm? Because, believe it or not, things that become the norm aren't always the best thing for games in general. But instead of being a trailblazer and challenging the norms that are set up from other games in the genre, they just blindly follow them because they're either not willing or not capable of simply asking, why do we need this? Why? What does it do? What does it add? And is it worth it? Thank you for watching.